Well, hello, everybody. I'm Robert Helms, and with me, Beth Clifford.
Hey, Robert. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Super.
Oh, my gosh. We have some great stuff to share with you. We just did our quarterly update, so you might have been thinking, well, that one took longer than we thought, and this one is a lot sooner, but we have some news to share. So really, this is just intended for current owners and syndicators, but we wanted to bring up to speed with some things that are going on. I guess first, in a nutshell, progress. You're seeing the update videos. There's great progress. The pool is amazing. When we talked a while back, we said there were three primary things that we needed, and that was in order to really open, we've got to have a restaurant, we have to have a pool, and we have to have a hotel tax license. Well, we've checked two of those boxes.
We have.
We're very happy to report that in our hands, we hold our hotel tax license.
Yes, we do.
Finally, it's coming through, so excited about that. And the pool, oh my goodness, practically ready to swim in.
Today we can swim in it.
All right, today. So now the attention is focused on opening the restaurant in the Great House. We are moving our front desk into the Great House from our temporary front desk in January. Mm-hmm. So we are still in our soft launch, pre-launch, and we've got heads in beds, and we've got people staying here, and we're starting to work out kinks, and more stuff's on order. But let's talk a little about the plan for the restaurant.
Really kind of wonderful is that we've got probably one of the best executive chefs, and she's been featured in a number of like Food and Wine magazine, and so I mean she's that caliber. She's been working in the country of Belize for over 8 years, so she knows all about the local ingredients. She knows all about the chefs. She's a training chef, and she's also a farm to table chef, and so that's her real passion. Is that she just loves to get involved with the locavore kind of products down here. She likes to work with the local farmers and help them to develop things that she wants to bring to the table itself. And she's done that already in the country of Belize. And so she's Canadian. So we're really expanding our team. So we're not just all a bunch of Belizeans and Americans, but now we have a Canadian on the team. And she comes out of Vancouver Island, where she's had a couple of very, very well-known and established restaurants. And she just has a real passion for, number one, cooking great food, two, and just having this real easy flair about what she cooks, like it's not overdone. It's just that celebration of the ingredients themselves and kind of put together in a beautiful way. But that's real, kind of like us, it's kind of that shabby chic kind of thing about it. Does that make sense?
And she's also just great. You're going to love this gal. The biggest win for us is that she's very familiar with the realities of Belize.
Yeah, she sure does.
We had another executive chef who looked good on paper, but when he got into this little rock and went, wow, I can't get my this and I can't get my that, and I'm going to go do something that makes better sense for me. Right. That's always a concern when people either Belize takes for you or it doesn't. And she's already been here. She was executive chef at one of the best locations in the mainland of Belize. Mm-hmm. And she's also been a chef at one of the highest end hotels on the island. So she knows the market and she's a jewel. So very excited about that. So that's our next emphasis, is to get the restaurant open while we're still training staff and all that.
And so that's going to open too, Robert. So that's going to be, we're opening the Shaken bar. And so that's the pool bar. So Shaken is going to be open. We're believing right now, or the targeting date is the middle of January. And so that's going to be open, up and running, cool place to go hang out with her food being served over there. So that's our beginning point. She's already working on the menus for our restaurant itself. So that's exciting to go do. She's working with Marcus at Amber Greens on his entire growth schedule. So what's going into the greenhouse, where he's already putting seeds into the greenhouse. It's like everything. We all coming down here with seeds. That's our major contraband that we come down here with now is seeds that we have. But anyway, so it's a real fun venture that's going to happen down here. So
it's going to be great. So can't wait for that all to unfold in the coming months. But that's our next emphasis. So checking these things off. The real thing we want to talk to you about today is another new strategic relationship we have. Very happy, of course, with the Hilton and what's happening there. They're super professional, very excited about what's happening and bringing their big behemoth machine into Belize to help us fill the rooms. But we have a really unique new relationship that is another big brand, but not a hotel brand. In fact, it's a brand that really hasn't explored to the degree they could this particular kind of an outlet. And we're very excited to announce our affiliation with Coastal Living Magazine.
We are. Remember, Robert, we always talked about how the team members that you bring to you, right? What's the quote that you always say?
When you hire the best, it doesn't cost you more, it makes you more.
All right, so this is a classic example. Is that
sure
correct?
Is.
So when we had the opportunity to go join partnerships and put our team together, remember, let's rewind that 3.5 years ago, we chose to bring in one of the best architects, and they weren't the cheapest architects, but they were one of the best architects. And so that architectural firm and that group of people have incredible ties into lots of different projects, right?
Yes.
And so everything today is all about not 6 degrees of freedom, it's 1 degree of freedom today with the internet, correct? And so they had great ties into coastal living and those groups of people for a long period of time.
Well, a lot of their architecture and style is all of that. And if you don't understand coastal living, it's a niche magazine, which is just exactly our avatar. The kind of person that wants to be near the water and have that lifestyle, and their travel and their food and their real estate, and they're a lot, but the readers are vibrant. They're the exact kind of folks who will be interested in what we're doing.
Right. And they are in the United States, they have the 5th highest median household income of any magazine in the United States.
Wow.
Is that who you want? So could you pick a better publication, right, that is basically aspirationally selling houses, vacation houses on the water to people in the United States with the 5th highest median household income?
Yeah.
Is there anybody better?
No, that's exactly who you want.
So the only body who's better than that would be, you would go to Elle Decor or you would go to Architectural Digest. But that's probably not a Belize market if you really think about it. It's like the number of people who are reading Architectural Digest. Yeah, some of them might be interested in Belize. But anyways, so the good news is we had been made an introduction to them over 2 years ago. We've been nurturing that relationship with them for 2 years, talking to them about how could we go do a branded house down here. Very casual conversations, and then destiny kind of happens, which is the whole advertising industry is moving away from print. And the whole model is moving away from, buying space in a magazine, and that what they call spray and pray advertising is not what people do anymore. It's all focused. It's laser focused advertising today.
Well, it's all moved digitally, and that's the big struggle, right? All media is changing, but think about the financial model of a magazine isn't the $4 you pay for it in the airport.
Right.
It's all those ads, all those glossy ads. And folks who used to spend $100,000 a month on a magazine are now spending that money on Facebook ads and direct Google searches and those kinds of things.
Right.
And still there's a place for magazines. It's just their economic model isn't as good as it once was.
It isn't. And they're changing their economic model, because it used to be, well, you're just buying real estate in a publication. And so you're buying so many column inches and you're putting your ad into the middle of it. But the real thing that you're doing, why would you go do that potentially when I can go pay for a lead that I know your name, I know your FICO score, and I know how many pieces of real estate you have. I can go buy that lead today.
Right.
And I can go in surgically and go find that person and go deliver a message to them today.
Yep.
So anyway, so the net of it is they came to us, and we kind of had this conversation. They're turning their ship around, which is how do they go create different revenue models? And so it's all going to be based on referral. So what they do have and what they have is brand equity, which is huge.
Yeah.
They came down here and they did a Facebook Live of just sitting on our beach club. We had over 100,000 views. We had more than 50,000 likes. And then if you go into where it peaked over to our website, we had 1,000 hits on our website in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Okay. So how many people get that? So what do they have? They've got eyeballs, and they've got dedicated eyeballs for a long period of time who have been following them for huge amounts of time.
Yeah.
So they want to go turn kind of their revenue model around. And so they've got something that are called lifestyle communities. They've got 3 of them currently. They're in the United States. They've been successful and great. One of them is in South Carolina. One of them is in the Seattle area, and one of them is in Hampton Beach. The Hamptons on Long Island. Great areas, right?
Yep.
High end. And so we started to talk to them about doing something international. They'd never done anything international before. But the good news is we're cemented a deal with them that we're going to be the very first international coastal living lifestyle community.
So how that works here is on Street 4. We are now in the process of designing 2 new coastal living houses. So just like we have Hilton branding on Streets 2 and 3, a hotel brand that everybody knows, this is for the coastal living reader, for the person who is embracing that lifestyle. These are coastal living branded homes.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. So we're bringing over, we're taking our family cottage, which has currently always been sold on Street 4. They're doing kind of I don't want to call it a facelift because that sounds wrong, but what they're going to go do is they're they're going to go coastal living it.
Yep.
And so they're already in the process of doing that. We've come to them with 2 different houses that we've got on the designs for single family houses for Street 4. And they've already gone through and they've given our uptick on kind of how they're going to go do it. We're bringing Amanda Lindroff. She's going to be the designer of record for the interiors for coastal living.
And she's very printable, right?
Yes, very printable. Yep. So she's very excited because coastal living for 2 years has been courting Amanda, but haven't been able to get her over the line to go be one of their designers.
Yeah.
And so we brought her in, so they're thrilled. And so, you know, it's like everything in life. It's building the best win-win for everybody. So coastal living now has Amanda as being one of their designers. It's going to be a fabulous. And so what's great about this is we talk about coastal living, right? But the real relationship is with coastal living, but it's beyond coastal living.
This is the good part.
This is the good part. But wait, now there's more.
There's more. Coastal Living is one of more than 100 magazines owned by Time Incorporated. And so if you just happened to be reading People magazine in the last month and you saw a full page color ad on Mahogany Bay Village, that's the Coastal Living ad, and it appears in the December edition. So go out and get a December edition of Coastal Living magazine. You'll get a real flair and feel for that. You'll see our full page ad offering a Coastal Living trip.
Yep.
And they're going to come down here and they're going to have an amazing experience we'll talk about in a minute. But as happens, because they have space available, they called and said, hey, looks like we might be able to put the ad in People. And oh my goodness, it's run in People magazine 3 weeks in a row. We're in the new Star Wars collector edition of People magazine, which only has 2 ads, the back cover and the inside back cover. And we're the inside back cover in that collector's edition. And they're selling it all over the United States. This is a huge, huge magazine. We've had so many leads.
We have. It's crazy. And so if we go look back and we look at our web activity, so our web activity and our translation to all of it is we've got about a 3% capture rate. We've captured just in 3 weeks, we've had over 100,000 hits on our website from these people.
Wow.
Most people would kill for 100,000 instant hits on their website. Our Facebook ups are double of where we have. So we got our Facebook is up, our Instagram is up. So we're building a huge database inside of it. All of that has translated into over 1,000 leads that have come into our system, which we're now actively